Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I know those of you who have followed my videos in past know I'm not a very vain person. I'm not going to be putting on a whole lot of makeup. I'm not most likely not going to be doing a whole lot of stuff with my hair and so forth. I just don't care. And that's not the purpose of these videos anyway. Excuse me. So sorry. I just, I've been thinking about things, and I think it would be a good idea to start back with documenting my journey, especially now that I have been accepted into the Mayo Clinic. Um, then that way, I have some sort of record um, uh, that can be referred back to in case, there's something maybe I might forget, something that might be missing or something, or at least maybe, you know, the doctors could have a way, excuse me, of being able to see how I am, especially with living in a totally different environment. So, even though it might be difficult at times or whatever, I think it would be a good idea. Plus, of course, it can help to be inspiring for other people to keep going and maybe get some help themselves too. Excuse me. I do have some water here next to me. We had uh, some sort of storm go by us, really picked up the winds yesterday. If you watched yesterday's video, then you know that. Um, and of course, there's going to be lingering sand and dust blowing around. It did last quite a bit into the night last night, too. So, and I have everything closed up, even though it's been, oh my gosh, the temperatures have been beautiful, mid 70s. I think we topped out at 80 yesterday. Um, I don't remember if I stepped outside last night or not to see what it was, um, how the temperature was last night. I think it was only supposed to be getting down into the 60s at night right now, but I did see with our forecast that um, uh, at some point, I don't remember when, we are supposed to be dropping back to a little bit more seasonal temperatures. We have been like 30s, 40s, 50s during the day. Some areas dropping down to the 20s at nighttime. Um, mm, a little sore right here. Got a little pain right here. So, uh, slow down and breathe a minute. um, but yeah, we are supposed to be dropping with our temperatures for all of. I guess we're going to be getting another storm system. I did see another wind advisory. I don't know. Um, I didn't. I seen it on my phone or whatever. I have it kind of scroll through or whatever through an app, one of those widgets. But I didn't, tap on it to click it open to find it to see or anything. So, I mean, if you want to know, you can always check it out yourself. That's the way I look at it. So, anyway, I have been getting some very good positive feedback from friends and a little bit of relatives. Basically, people giving me their blessings about moving. It is a very difficult. Um, it has been a very difficult decision. Mostly trying to figure out. I don't have a whole lot of stuff left. I lost my storage unit at the just before New Year's. I was trying my best to keep up with the payments, but unfortunately, and I was fighting real hard. I mean, I was working, working, working. really hard. And then finally my body just gave out. I couldn't do it anymore. And this was the day before it was going to be going to auction. And I finally just had to walk away from it. So with the stuff that I have left, there are some things that are very precious to me. My tarot and oracle cards. Yes, I could see about shipping everything, but I got to keep costs down too. I did send off for a kit from the Postal Service in case anybody else runs into this. I have my mom's ashes because she had specific things. I've realized that now she would probably be like, "Don't worry about it," or whatever. But I like keeping her with me. I miss her a lot. Anyway, but I did research as far as um, how I can transport her. I know I've done it in the past. I know I had, at least with the airlines, I would have to obtain special permission. That was a long time ago, though, and I know a lot of things have changed since then. But I did find out, as far as mailing is concerned, the only legal way you can send them is through the post. This is here in the States, by the way. But I found out is through the Postal Service. You can't use FedEx, UPS, things like that. I'd have to overnight them, basically, through the Postal Service, and they provide a free kit. Excuse me. To be able to ship them. You can use your own box. You just have to make sure there's a specific label that you have to obtain and use. But they do provide a free kit, and everything comes with. So I figured I would start there. Excuse me, with everything. This is in allergies. Actually, I did have a little bit of nasal last night. No, this is just, reflex reaction with everything. Oh, here comes somebody who wants to say hello. She needs to check on mommy. This is my baby, for you all who don't know. She is not just my baby, actually. Over the last couple of years since I started in with this mess and also becoming a type 1 diabetic, I had found that she reacts, or basically anytime I'm having an issue, like a low blood sugar, or if I'm start dealing with a lot of coughing, difficulties breathing, she responds to all of that, either to help calm me down so I can breathe, or if I'm having a low sugar, she will keep me awake, because I have a tendency, when my sugar starts dropping really, really low, I have a tendency to want to lay down and go to sleep. And she will irritate me, literally just keep irritating me until to keep me awake, until I do what I need to do to take care of my blood sugar. Oh, excuse me. That one was definitely congestion a little bit. Or until, even because it could take a little bit of time with eating something for it to get into the system and raise the blood sugar back up. And she will keep me awake during that time. And with explaining all of this to the doctor with moving into this place, they, of course, wanted to charge a pet fee, and I didn't want to go down the route of, trying to conceal her or anything like that. I'm just, with everything that has happened to me, I wasn't feeling secure with trying to, go that route. So I got in contact with my doctor, my primary care physician, and he wrote a letter basically certifying her as a medical support animal. So she is a certified, basically, medical support animal now. And that's something else that I had thought about too. Of course, I have that letter, so in that way I can take her with me on the plane for a flight to go up there. I just I need to get with the FAA to find out if there's any other sort of requirements that they have, like vaccination records or anything like that. The other thing I thought of too, with regards to my medications, especially my insulin and syringes, I am going to have to get a letter from him for all that. I know that that I'll need that for there, but I figure I can make a phone call to or basically TSA. That's what I was trying to think of earlier, not the FAA, but the TSA, to find out, all the requirements for both. So I'm going to need that as well, which I completely forgot about. Can't just show up with a bunch of syringes and be like, oh yeah, I need this for my diabetes. Here's my medical support bracelet or whatever. All that, that could be forged, but a letter from a doctor is a little bit different. Excuse me. So I'm going to need to find out what their requirements are for me to be able to take all that stuff through security. So that's something I have to see about looking into today as well. Another thing I had thought about too that I need to take care of, excuse me, is I need to also get with the state of Minnesota, at least an insurance broker there, and find out if there's any sort of time period that I have to wait before I can apply, for like Medicaid or insurance there. I don't think there's going to be any of that, at least with the like regular commercial insurance, but Medicaid is going to be the big question. If I can get Medicaid, I'd much rather, of course, go down that route, so I don't have to worry about insurance premiums or deductibles, things like that. Gosh. So yeah, she's more than just my baby. It's because I believe it's because of the bond that we had before that it's yeah, because she is my daughter. I know a lot of people will say, oh, their pets or their babies or whatever. She's more than just my baby. She's my daughter. I consider her to be that that important to me, as if I birthed her myself. I know a lot of people would say that it's not healthy or what have you, but what's the difference between that or adopting a human as your child? Anytime anything happens in life, are you going to take and throw that child back into the system, basically? That's the way that I look at it. Yeah, she likes to crawl all over me, walk in front of the camera, and so forth a lot. But she's my child. And I treat her as such. And yeah, she's spoiled, but she's spoiled with love. A lot of love. And she deserves it. I found her living on the streets. Yeah, there's her whiskers. She's trying to chew on the corner of the phone. I found her living on the streets when she was about 6 weeks old. And we have developed a very strong bond. So, yeah, she comes with me no matter what. But yeah, as far as the move is concerned, the difficult decisions that I'm making is, what to do with my stuff. Should I take it and just try and put it in storage? Try and go down that route again, um, or take a lot of people's advice. A lot of people have been saying, just get rid of it, and but I look at some of the items, and it's kind of difficult to let go. Some of it is like, okay, no big deal, but some things that are very big keepsakes, but those are items that I could either throw into that box that gets overnighted, with my mom's ashes, because they're just small items, or take a chance and put them in the suitcase, um, and so forth. And then it's just a matter of getting rid of the rest. Probably just rent, a moving truck and take it over to, a donation place and say, hey, of course, this little one here, she has her cat tree, and I have put her through so much. She's also lost quite a few things in the process, things that were in storage or whatever. And she really does love her cat tree. And of course, but I'm more concerned about her with when we get up there. This living situation, it's going to be a bit crowded, and it'll probably be temporary, and then it's going to be what we've done in the past with moving over to someplace else, living with people again, and this and that, So I'm a little worried, concerned with her as well. And before anybody starts saying, maybe looking at shelters or whatever, we have the same situation with shelters, with the animal shelters, as what we have with people shelters, overcrowding, even individuals who have declared themselves nonprofit organizations, basically turning their homes into shelters, are also over capacity. So a lot of these babies are being put out onto the streets, because unfortunately even their owners are being put out onto the streets as well. Some of them I see out there are doing everything they possibly can to retain them, but they can run off too. So I'm seeing all of that. I am a little concerned, with making a move, going down this road again, or what have you. I am a little worried about it, because now I'm going to be in an area I don't even know. Yeah, I have a couple of friends, or what have you, who live in the state, both not too terribly far from each other, really. Basically, kind of driving distance, Isn't like one friend lives on one end of the state, the other lives on the other end of the state, or something like that, where it'd be like an 8-hour drive, or talking, maybe a 2-3 hour drive, so it's not that bad. If probably close to a couple hours away from each other. So if need be, maybe I can, have help, or what have you. I've had some bad experiences, let's face it, throughout everything. And the first time I had to do things, it was after I had a car accident. It was 7 years ago. And I just kept having relapses with the injuries, and finally had to walk away from my apartment. How all my stuff wound up in storage, and I moved in with a friend, and it wound up being a huge nightmare. There was drugs involved. Her boyfriend, common law husband, basically hit on me. he was very abusive to her, and even when she had left town to go take care of her mom, her mom wound up in hospice and passed away and so forth, wound up staying for the holidays, completely understood all of that and everything. But the whole time she was gone, there was a parade of women going through that he was sleeping with, and so on and so forth. Right. And he was a bit abusive to me. That's when he had tried to hit on me, basically propositioned me, and I was deathly sick at the time. I believe it was, I believe I had COVID, but this was before we knew, started even hearing about COVID. All we knew is that there was something going around that was horrible. But the symptoms were the same as COVID when all that started coming out. And then it was a couple years later that I got sick again, or a couple years ago, I should say, that I got sick again. And that time, unfortunately, I didn't have any at-home test kits, but of course by then we knew, about COVID and there was testing and so forth. I just didn't have an at-home test kit, and I didn't feel well enough to be able to go and get tested anyway. So that's why we don't really know for sure what it is that we're dealing with, but I suspect it's long COVID. But anyway, so yeah, that's why I have my concerns. Even the next place I was at, it was another friend. Again, drugs were involved. I knew that they smoked weed, but I didn't know that they were also doing heavier stuff. I'm naive. I'll admit it. I'm very naive when it comes to those activities because I've never smoked weed. I've never tried drugs. I haven't really had a whole lot of friends, friends who have done drugs. I have known quite a few people who are alcoholics, but as far as drugs are concerned, I'm very naive to all of it. So I really had no idea what I was walking into, and that was also a nightmare situation. So I haven't had very good luck when it comes to roommates or what have you. But anyway, so yeah, those are concerns that I have with things. And now I'm going to be leaving, and I'm going to have nothing left. So that's something else that's going through my head, and wondering if I should just take what I do have and put it in a storage unit just in case. Or just take that leap of faith and just get rid of it all and start fresh someplace else. I do also have my concerns about the weather. I do have a little bit of experience driving in ice and snow, but not that kind of ice and snow. It's completely different. So yeah, I do have my concerns there as well. Fortunately, I would basically already have a job with being a delivery driver. I would just need to be able to rent a vehicle there through Uber, and then I can just hit the streets running. At least with that route, I wouldn't have to worry about dealing with car maintenance and so forth. And I could have a car to go back and forth to Rochester. So yeah, these are all things that keep going through my mind with things, concerns that I do have and everything. But if I get there, I can get myself established. I can get my own place, maybe right there in Rochester, or it would be close. Right, it'd be right there. And I know that with what we do know about COVID, long COVID, and so forth, I know there's no guarantees that, with any sort of treatments either. It's basically trial and error with a lot of things. But at the same point, what I'm also looking at is if I can go there, and if we can try different things with me, even if they don't work or what have you, at least I would be, one way or another, I would be helping with the research. And maybe, and I'd be willing to do trials, either clinical trials, try different things. One of the questions that they had asked in the form that they had sent me when I had provided my answers with, like, what is my pain, what sort of duration is it, so on and so forth. It came back with asking if I might be willing to speak with somebody with regards to fibromyalgia. Not necessarily saying that I have fibromyalgia, but some of those treatments could help. So, and of course I responded yes. It's like, yeah, I hadn't even considered that. So it was good to see that, because it tells me that they are thinking outside the box. And I appreciate that, because I've had to really think outside the box with my own, like, homeopathic treatments and so forth. So that helped ease my mind quite a bit, because unfortunately I haven't had very good experiences here. Let's face it. So, but if maybe I can help aid with the research, and maybe it could help somebody else. And I've said that quite a lot with my previous videos that I have posted on the blog's YouTube channel. Then it could be worth it in the future. So those are that's a positive, and something else that I am looking at, even though I'm looking at walking away from all of my stuff, hat included. Yeah. But it could be a fresh start. I could see about getting my yoga certification. I have talked about that. I know I do have 2 bachelor's degrees, but I wasn't happy with them. But I love doing yoga, and I love teaching. So if maybe I could do that, and who knows, maybe there could be a place for me at the Mayo Clinic maybe with getting my certification, and then I can maybe help fellow patients. Because I know one of the concerns I've had with working with with the general public are all those aromas. But if it's a situation like one of those, I could even market myself. Maybe do freelance and market myself, for people, who are dealing with breathing difficulties, and help them, there's a lot of possibilities still. And I'm thinking about all of that as well. And the online certification, there's this one school that I have found is offering a substantial discount, and it's only like about $400. And all you have to have is 200 hours of classroom, and then you can get your yoga certification. That, and I still want to be able to do the Tai Chi as well. I'd like to learn Tai Chi, and there's specific areas where you can learn and so forth. So yeah, there's a lot that I'm considering and everything. That I still would like to be able to pursue avenues I'd still like to be able to go down. I haven't given up on any of that. It's just been a struggle trying to get to that point, and if maybe they can help me, then that would be awesome. And if I could pay it forward that way, that would be awesome. That way, or at least help aid in the research. So I know I'm coming up on my 30 minutes here, which I'm surprised I was able to do. So anyway, I'll let you all go. I do love you guys still, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, take it easy. Love you. And at least you got to see the little baby today too.